Hello and welcome back to Master of Orion Conquer the Stars, where in the last episode we wiped out the humans and have now proceeded to attack the Meklar, which we'll continue to do in this episode and hopefully also be able to make a push to Orion, which had been elusive for some time. But let's push further. Oh, cruiser. How bad did it just had to run into us? Alright, you're actually lacking a gravity generator for some reason. Miklars don't work in high G, or they actually started building that, alright? That explains a lot. Alright. Let's continue on here. I haven't managed to terraform these planets yet, but they have had them for quite a while. But I also have no marines here. Crazy. But admittedly, the the Meklar didn't have many planets for a very long time. They always had their three systems that they sort of started out with, and they couldn't really expand further because they had issues with the humans, with the Zakra, and with the Murshan. So they really didn't expand much. They always had these three systems here: Meklan, Ziktut, and Gemnam. But Polos had been a recent addition. I think they actually took that from the Sakra just a few turns ago. Well, few, like I don't know, 80, maybe 100, but not much more. So alright, you don't actually have to proceed there, as that thing has already been taken care of. There are some forces here though, surprisingly. Only frigates, nah, don't need to watch that. They'll just get shot down by our defenders really hard. Alright. After that you can move here. Alright, you'll move up here. You've already moved, right? Be moving there next. And then you, I guess, you'll also be moving here. Sadly, our space factories are still busy in the human part of the universe. But there's not that many reinforcements that actually have to move up, so we should be fine. Alright, let's move here. Let's take it out. Negative damage? We took negative damage? Interesting. Not sure we did that. The enemy shot at you, but your ship actually healed. Somehow. Not sure. Probably was just a statistics bug. Oh. Alright, get through there. Once you're done, you can move into Ziktut as reinforcements. Here. Move. Alright, take it out. Still ships moving. Oops. What's this? Guess I clicked the attack button too often. Suppose I shouldn't do that. Alright. Sadly, you can't take enemy ships, which is one of the features that I'm sort of missing. But I'm talking more about missing features, I guess, at the end of all of this. Here I have some money for gravity generators. So, what do we have here? A battleship and a few escorts. Well, nothing too impressive. But let's watch this. So what's your plan? Okay, flanking again. Sure. Actually, the cruiser's flanking too. Interesting. You can move up a little bit faster though, and you too. Just full speed ahead. What are you shooting at us with? Huh. Fusion and ion pulse beams, yeah, very high tech, gotta say. Maybe you could not take out the station before the torpedoes had any chance to go there. Oh. He's a greedy bastard. Says, "Oh, I have gauss cannons. What do you have? Torpedoes? Pfft, pathetic." Are the torpedoes actually moving to the ship? Not bad. Don't think they actually should though. That thing was way out of range. Not sure why they actually went there. I think he actually tried to hit someone else and the torpedoes just kept going. Can we maybe use that? Well, too late. Oh well. Disappointing. Whoa, they do have quite a number of marines and tanks here though. But so do we. So 5 times 6 is like 30, it should be fine. Got it. Alright, and management, and then you're pretty well developed, I gotta say. Gotta say, I almost have the same level of building quality that my most developed worlds have, so good for you. Might need some more transports over here. How many do we have? 5. There's another... Oh, there wasn't another colony ship. So assuming we only need 1 per planet, we should be fine. Thanks. Let's also take the other one. Thank you. Alright, that's management, gravity, and the rest of the stuff. Alright. Rest of you, move up. Can move here. Oh, we're already ready. I don't think we need any more troop transports, man. Just, I don't know, build a space elevator and then churn out some defenders, I guess. You don't have anything to do. Oh. Good for you. Let's build some more of these. Probably my most productive system there. Though others could be competitive if all planets would be working together there, but not all already yet. Like here on Phaelus, there are 3 planets, probably the most successful competitor to Ra was both ultra rich, so they have a lot of production going on there. Best competitor would probably be Tauri, because they also have ultra rich, and they have 3 more planets who are abundant, and rich. So, but they're 4 planets, so they could be very competitive compared to them. Gamer only has 4, and they're not very well developed. Griffin might probably be a serious competitor. Nodia, yeah, then they're not quite there yet. So, but Ra is doing a pretty amazing job at bringing out big ships. So that's fine. You're done. No, you're not done, sadly. But you're getting there. Alright, are you just transports? No, you're also a fleet. Good. Move in here in case they need more transports. Don't think we need another fleet there, but we might need more transports. Because we needed a lot in order to take the planet there. Can take the same route here. Same as you. And you, I guess. Alright. We have a jump gate, that's amazing. Move up. What's that here? That's the remnants of yet another fleet. I have like 3 fleet groups converging to Sigtut. That's fun. And there's the cruiser. That's actually just a cruiser. I thought it was a battleship, but it's just a cruiser. You only have 24 troops. I think for Meklon Prime it should be enough, but not for their home planet Meklon 2. But reinforcements will be coming. Alright, I'm not sure where you want to go. Just, I don't know, somewhere. I'm actually trying to protect the planet so that I don't just send my troop transports there without interference. It's kind of mean of you to do that, because I wanted to just move up here and take you out. Shame. Let's see how the Warsun takes out a cruiser. One against one, pal. Let's see what you got. This thing is actually is slow. When I say slow, I mean it's unbearably slow, but it does have weapons. If it hits. You do have battle scanners, right? You haven't hit any shot yet, you fucking idiots. Well, now you did. But as I said in my video about ship designs, sometimes they just have an issue of hitting at their extreme range for some reason. And this just was a cruiser. This wasn't really a very maneuverable ship that should have a high measure of beam defense, but I may be wrong. Not sure how beam defense is actually calculated here in this game in some cases, because you can't see the values anywhere. But, well, as you saw, it might actually have trouble hitting at times. But when an enemy gets close enough, it does actually have a secondary battery of what was the name again? Mauler devices to take out smaller ships, or to just help it when it gets overwhelmed by large amounts of ships. Alright, we have one more troop transport to dispatch. Here. So let's see how well it will fare against the Guardian. I'm sort of getting a little nervous about it. Oops, that was the wrong one. But we'll see. Should be able to keep up a fight for a pretty long time. Not sure why I actually built an alien management center there, because if there's only one, then it'll get integrated fast enough. You don't really need to build an alien management center for that. Anyway, you're just waiting for a turn. Hope that's just a scout. Yeah, it's just a scout. Alright. Alright, you're here. You have transports. No, actually, you have transports. Attack! Yeah, we need like 3 at least. I'll be taking 4. I have enough. I don't have to wait for the next wave of transports to arrive anyway. Alright. Not sure what I'm building an interplanetary security network for. Mechlas will be out of the picture really soon. I actually need to stop moving forward, because if I just take out all of the planets I've just won without taking Orion, which would be sort of weird. So let's actually just block off their access to Mechlon once we've taken it, and then that will be fine. Alright, where are those troop transports? Give me those troop transports! I'll actually send some battleships over there to prevent them from getting ambushed by... No, don't need to do that. Actually, to prevent them from being just wiped out by a rush-built ship from here. You need a jump gate. You'll just stay here, I think. Stay here? No, can't guard this. Oh, it's actually enemy station. Okay, you can't guard it when there's an enemy station too. Now you can. You'll also stay here. So you can send up your troop transports now that I think about it. Alright, you move here. Move here too. Alright. Right, you just got here. I'll just wait a turn. Good. Yeah, that's what I was trying to defend against. Like, if they put that destroyer and had actually just moved them against the unprotected troop transports, then I would have just raged at the screen a little. So good to not do that. 17. We should only need 3. We'll have some respect for them, so I'll send 4. Ding. First homeworld in a while that we haven't blown to smithereens. Oh well. Oh, why are you all doing research? It's crazy. They're desperately trying to research something in order to stop us, maybe. I don't know. What their plans are, but they don't have to all do research. It's okay to produce stuff. Oh well. Just also move ahead. Alright, to Orion! What are you doing? Yet another fucking fleet. You can just get in here and, I don't know. Look pretty. Alright, you're actually getting the production boost. So build chips. also getting the production boost, I assume, and build more ships. Well, you all need orders now. Just go away. Next one asking for orders gets hit with the auto build. Unless it's one of my old colonies, then probably not. But stay here. Next turn. Alright, so let's take our chances against the Guardian. I'm only going to move up that ship. The attack and defense value is actually wildly misleading. It's actually not that bad as it appears to be just by looking at the stats. Not sure why they lowered the stats for some reason, but it's actually way more effective than that. You really need a pretty decent fleet to take it out.
This is GNN, Galactic News Network.
Silicoid Crag ships have recently visited the legendary Orion system.
Well, we'll do more than just visit it. We have bigger plans. Alright. Let's see how that goes. Attacks the Orion Empire. Really? The Orions had an empire at some point. Okay. That's slightly bigger than my Doomstar. Good for you, man. Good for you. How can you miss that big ship? Are you freaking kidding me, man? As you see, it has actually pretty decent shields. So, phasers will not do quite as much damage as they would normally. But now they're done with the shield and they're getting through. Actually, move a little bit closer to demonstrate the Mauler devices. No, of course not. But the thing has Mauler devices. As close range defense against, I don't know, frigates trying to swarm it or something. Alright, we've done it. But, okay, the shield was holding. Now we can upgrade ships. I don't really need that. Guardian of Orion has been defeated. After defeating the Guardian, the forces explore the planet and find the ruins of a highly advanced society, now long dead. Studying these ruins will no doubt help the scientists unlock new technologies.
The mantle of Orion is rich with secrets. The prospectors have unearthed a landslide of new technologies.
Yeah, the Death Ray is actually a really bad energy weapon, as I talked about in the energy discussion part of the ship construction video. So I'll not talk about that more. The black hole generator is actually kind of interesting because you can create a pocket black hole with it, and if you create it in an area where there's a large amount of enemy ships, like small frigates or bigger ships, together with some frigates, like against people like me who tend to hold their forces together much, it can actually be pretty amazing because when you create this black hole, the ships can just randomly crash into each other and basically kill themselves. So I think that actually has some use. And we got an even better armor, the Xenotronium armor. No, we're not gonna upgrade missiles here. Go away. No, we're also not gonna upgrade those two Mauler devices. Go away. Damn it. There's no real need to upgrade that, but I'll do it for the destroyers. Yeah, you just upgrade the armor. Yeah, that's okay. Not sure why it thinks that the Mauler devices are more effective than Gauss. I don't think they are. Same here. Crazy upgrade with replacing that with Mauler devices, Gauss, and a laser cannon. So let's not do that. Here auto upgrade seems to be doing fine. Here's the same issue. Mauler devices. Even more Mauler devices. Yeah, it already has enough Mauler devices. Let's not. Actually, what has 175 beam attack? It has 145 beam attack. Might the issue actually be that it has too much beam attack, that it has a chance to just miss due to rounding errors? Because it does have the best technology that Silicoid hands can construct, and it should be able to hit stuff. But for some reason on extreme ranges, it just seems to not. Huh. Well. Beam defense. It's not that high. Anyway, I don't want to get bothered by this.
Knowledge
Just
deposition
continue
is
that. Let's just upgrade that. And we have a colony ship.
And so the Silicoid came to Orion. What secrets could those ancient stones hold for the future of the crag?
One thing I forgot to mention when we got the technologies earlier was that you'll always get the same 3 technologies in this game. In Master of Orion 2, for instance, there were 8 technologies that you could get, and you always got only 4 of them. So there's that small difference. It's not that big a difference, but it is a difference nonetheless. So I just wanted to mention that. Orion in itself is beautiful. I mean, it has the hugest size, best biome, the best minerals. It's good. So
Welcome to GNN.
The Silicoid crag has established a colony on Orion.
what kind of holds it down a little bit, although it always seems to have moons, it doesn't have any other planets in the system. And with how effective the interplanetary administration is, Orion is actually not that great a production center anymore, just because there's no other planets there to work together with. So Ra is way better than Orion in most cases. I mean, the planets are only large, but there are 2 of them working together, which Orion can never achieve. So there's that. Orion is still amazing. If you can get it early, then good for you. But but it's not the end-all planet anymore because, well, interplanetary administration is really great, but has really no use on Orion. If I had prepared this better, I could send people over there and stuff, but really, that's the least of my worries. What's happening on Orion right now? They can build stuff. We're gonna blow up. We're gonna blow up. We're gonna build up an economy there, but really, it's not that big of a deal at this point. At this point, we're just looking to end it. Right. Just export. Thank you. Auto build. You got hit with the auto build bat. So will you. Anybody else? No. How good of you. Thank you. More troop transports. Oh, thank you. They're actually moving all of their all of their ships to one location. So let's try to take both at the same time. They have 2 defensive installations here, which 2 of my battleships should be able to handle. So I'll send 2 more battleships along with 5. Oh, we have more. So let's send an excessive amount of troop transports together with these over there. The rest can go over here. Actually took it down a notch. All right. Should have said more. I mean, they're not the most recent design anymore. They have way outlived their usefulness. Unless I had better missiles. There's 1 missile generation more that I didn't research. So if they had that, they would still be pretty effective at this point. With the older one, they're sort of getting more limited by the day. You need some food, guys. Just wanted to keep you aware of that. Alright, let's attack these guys too. Let's see if they make a worthy last stand. I doubt it though. I do like the Mechla ship design, that they always have this sort of evil red eye on all of their ships. Gives them their own their own look. I took a look at the art at the collector's edition art book recently, so that's why I mentioned that too. In general, I think the design is really kind of nice, but I'll talk more about that in a sec, I guess. He shot at the wrong target, man. We cannot catch a break, I know. Always that bad Gauss maniac flashlight that's always taking out the targets. It's an effing shame, I know. Alright, 17, so let's send 4.
All our base belong to you. We are on the way to destruction.
I haven't really seen the Mechlas being defeated by conquest, so I had to laugh a little bit at that. All our base belong to you. Alright. Nice catch.
All the crag ever wanted was solitude. But if it was not to be, then they would make their own. Now the Silicoid continue their secluded life, surrounded by the derelict fleets of their enemies.
Ah, finally. All these idiots are gone. Good. Let's take a look at the match history. Not that we can see much because sort of our points and all the other stuff is sort of getting in the way, but we can see very nicely when we had war with whomever. Let's actually not take a look at the score. Let's take a look at colonies, maybe. Army, and now it's also the more interesting early game development is also the way overshadowed by what we have. Oh, yeah. Well, basically, as soon as we started taking those Barathi colonies, we were on the way to victory. Basically, ever since here, we took out the Barathi completely. Before that, we took small chunks of them, but not really that much. But the Sakra, who had the most population at some point, were just then out-populous by us, and we don't have a huge growth to begin with, so at that point we just ran away with the game. And also because of all the stuff that I tend to invest into infrastructure, and because when our growth was limited, I was starting to declare wars on people, we always had a much better growth than anyone else. We had more like an exponential growth, and the other one was more linear to maybe quadratic, so not really that great. So there's that. But I guess I could have played on a higher difficulty level. I tend to normally play on what was the name of that? Extreme and very high. But since they said that they improved the AI, I was sort of getting a little bit worried that they might just outmaneuver me in the very first turns, which they didn't quite do, but we weren't too far away from losing horribly there, so I decided to go with just hard. Anyway, we were victorious. Yell! Let's actually go to the credits so that I can talk some more. Credits? That's credits. Oh yeah. Anyway, that was the Master of Orion remake, also known as Master of Orion Conquer the Stars, which had been very controversial ever since Wargaming announced that they were going to do it, because Master of Orion was one of the older and well-respected series that hadn't received a remake or a new part of a series for quite a long time, which leads to people holding it in very high regard and not wanting other people to mess it up, which was sort of the main worry is, dude, if you mess that up, we'll be really angry. So they tried to make it a decent enough remake, I think. In my point of view, there has been a lot of controversy about some elements of this remake, because on the one side, they did not include all the features that the original games had. Like, there were certain things missing, especially if you compare it to Master of Orion 2. There are basically no neutral states in the game anymore, which at some point in the early game versions, in the early access versions, there actually were planets which had sort of a native population that were in some cases behind space monsters, in some cases just randomly around. and that you could take over. So there was that. They removed that for some reason. I don't know. I don't really know why, but they removed that. And another major feature of Master of Orion 2, of course, is the Interrans. They're not here. They're not messing up your stuff, and you don't get to mess up their planet in the end as a result. So that's also missing. But they were sort of trying to make a remake of Master of Orion 1, so probably it's not fair to compare it to Master of Orion 2. But the main controversial factors actually are that they made two significant changes, which first is the sort of space lane-like system that you can't move freely from one system to another, but have to go through these jump point routes, which several people didn't like. Me personally, I kind of like the system because it gives you a better strategic vantage point because you know where your borders are and you can't just get randomly surprise attacked by invisible Darlock ships somewhere in the very far reaches of your empire, especially if you're suited more into the center of the galaxy. So I was always getting really annoyed by that in Master of Orion 2. Because this time you have borders. Sure, it feels a little bit artificial and like playing Risk in a space environment for some reason. But I think strategically it made the game better. And the other change was, of course, that they made the combat be in real time and not in turn-based combat, which actually pissed off quite a lot of people, saying, "Oh no, the combat doesn't have any tactical depth anymore. Why'd you do that? Totally messed up bullshit." I think personally, and I may not make much friends by saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. My opinion is that many people are misremembering how one-sided combat in Master of Orion 2 was. Yeah, and how long sometimes it took in large fleet engagements to just get your orders through at the other side. But I'm not talking about getting the orders through because that was sort of a criticism that only a few people made. But about the tactical depth. In Master of Orion 2, I'm always comparing it to Master of Orion 2 because that's the Master of Orion that I have most playtime with. So I'm gonna draw comparisons based on that. In Master of Orion 2, basically all the systems were aligned in a way that the attacker was always at a huge advantage. I already talked about this being able to move freely before, so that also helped because as the attacker you could say, "I see you have no ships in the system there. I'm gonna move up over there," and you can't react until the next turn, and you don't really know one turn in advance that I'm actually gonna go there. So I'll be at a advantage there because I can hit you where you don't expect it, and you as a defender would have to defend everywhere at the same time, which you can't. So that was one system that was basically giving an advantage to the attacker. Yes, I know there's warp interdictors and stuff which can make this different, but still, this was an issue, especially in the early game when you don't have warp interdictors. And then secondly, when doing battle, in most cases the attacking fleet got to shoot first, and who got to shoot first, especially when you got to the later stages of the game with energy weapons, was actually sort of a big deal because you could wipe out large amounts of the enemy force just in your first round by just shooting at them with energy weapons from long range. So I think some people are just slightly misremembering how things were. Yes, there was some space for tactical stuff, and there were some interesting subsystems that are not included here for some reason and that tend to not work anymore as they should. But aside from that, I think the real-time combat that you can pause at any time, yeah, that's something that I also think that people just seem to forget. You can just pause the combat in order to give new orders. It doesn't have to be hectic as some people might claim it to be. So, yeah. I wouldn't say I love this new system. The new real-time combat also has its own issues at times. But I think it's much better than the turn-based combat we used to have, honestly. Because it's balanced. Because it's difficult to have a one-sided advantage if both sides shoot at the same time. With the same weapons at the same time. You can't shoot missiles anymore and then just randomly disappear at the start of battle in order to wear down your enemies. you can't do much of the cheese anymore. I mean, new cheese will develop over time when more people play the game and try to develop new strategies, of course. And there is some elements that have already been identified as being cheese-worthy, but I think it's more difficult to basically twist the system around if the system is happening in real time, because when you can shoot your enemy, assuming he has the same stuff that you do, he can also shoot back, and not one turn later when he's may already have lost half his forces. So there's that. I don't really understand people saying the new combat system is really dumb. I mean, in the first iterations of the early access phase, it was really over very quick because the damage was too high and the amount of durability ships has was way too low. So maybe people are referring to that. But in the later stages of the early access and in the release version, I think there's really potential for decent tactical combat there, better than in the earlier Master of Orions. There, I said it. I don't know, hit me or something, or dislike me. I don't care. So that's as much as I wanted to talk about this game. I think it's a decent enough remake. It can get a little bit boring if you don't like sitting around and see your empire get better. If you're sort of having not that much time to spend on stuff, then I can understand that people are saying it's just too boring in the mid stages of the game, and I can really see that point. But for me, it's okay. It's not the most amazing game of all times. Yeah, as I said, some features are missing, and as a result, many of the rounds feel very similar because there's not too much decision making to be done, really. But I like it. I've sunk probably more than 100 hours into it already, and I'm probably gonna sink in a few hours more trying to get all these weird achievements. There's like one really weird achievement where you have to win the game without building any ships. Without building any military ships. Not quite sure how to get a handle on that yet. Maybe I'll do a short series about that once I figured out how to do that. But there are some fun achievements around. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about for the game. Another thing that I want to talk about, if people are still here, is the additional attention that I got for this series. Well, it's basically the first time that I've taken a look at the game during the release, and more people are taking an interest in let's plays of game during the release of the game in order to make up their mind if they want to play that or not. Which I haven't done in the past because I was always limited by hardware and all that other stuff that I talked about in the past. And also, a lot of these people are not German but English-speaking nationals. So I'm currently discussing with myself on how to proceed from here, because there have been lots of new subscribers, thank you, and I would not like to just lose you because I continue to do German stuff. I have already done some English projects in the past, but they were always sort of a side project, and because of other developments in real life that I'll make a separate video about soon-ish. I would be more inclined to actually do English videos, or at least do about the same amount of English and German videos, which will always be an issue because some people will like to see a project and then it's on the wrong languages, because some Germans have issues with me doing English stuff, and English people, of course, have issue with me doing German stuff. So that'll always be an issue. Not sure how I'm gonna tackle that problem, but I'm currently thinking about doing another space strategy game. I'm currently twisting my head around whether that will be Star Wolves or Nexus the Jupiter incident, or maybe even Hegemonia. I haven't played either of those in a while, so I may be interested to just do them again. But what I'm gonna pick, I'll probably take a few days, so patience. Yeah, if there's not an English video coming for a few days, and it doesn't mean that I have given up on you. It's just that I also have stuff to do, and because of the real life stuff that I talked about, or that I'm going to talk about in a separate video, I'll also have some more hours to spend on that in the next months, so I can't really promise to produce 2 videos each day like I did during the release of Master of Orion here, because I sort of like playing the game, so I also wanted to push it out as fast as I can, and to try to reach as many people as I can. So I did that there, but I can't keep that up for the next months. Up until like December, I'll be pretty busy. Then stuff is gonna change, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. So thanks for watching, thanks for your attention, and hopefully for your continued continued support of my channel. And I'll hopefully see you next time. Have a good one.